let's get this going. I need to get some work done. I find it helpful to take my phone away from myself. And one of the ways you can do that is to go on live when you do it. I also should probably clean this screen. It doesn't look like the cleanest screen, I'll be honest. Ooh. All right, let's see. Great, we'll go with that. Okay, 15 minutes on. I'm currently transmuting a screenplay that my friend started writing into actual screenplay format. Let's get into it. I will be chatting on breaks, so feel free to leave questions in the comments. I can't see my phone, which is part of this. It's very helpful for me to not be able to see it. So leave comments and I'll look them up. Okay, great. Ready and begin. Does she have a name? Okay, break time. We did it. We did the first 15-minute stretch. So now you get 3 minutes to rest. And if you're just chilling and not body doubling, feel free to ask. I mean, if you are body doubling, feel free to ask questions too. But we can chat about heated revelry for like 3 minutes. This is how I get through my days now. But I hope everybody who is here is like having fun, working on stuff. I hope you can see the timer. Oh, it's been such a busy day. I love having workshops in the morning, but I also am bad at then doing work for the rest of the day. Because I'm like, I did my work. I got my thing done. It's like, you got one thing done. You have 19 other things to do. And one of them includes translating my friend's screenplay into actual screenplay format so that we can like keep working on it together. I think she's got some really good ideas. She's new to writing, and there are just some things that you don't realize are logical and fallacies in a script until you type them up. So I'm like so proud of her for like taking the initiative and like getting it going. And now I'm carrying it to the finish line a little bit. And then we're gonna get together this afternoon and work on it. So I have a deadline too. Deadlines are great. I work best with deadlines. So I've really started making myself like arbitrary deadlines, and that has been really helpful. The other thing about this that's helpful is just that I can't check my phone. So it's like a way to break my phone addiction by using my phone even more, which probably isn't great, but does work. So I'll keep doing it. Once I'm done the screenplay, though, I might be ready to just do clean my apartment a little bit. It's been a disaster. But what hasn't been? The snowstorm took all of the fun away. Now everything is just like so cold. But hopefully everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna work out. Got like a minute left in break. Taking breaks is really hard for me. I'm not good at it, and so making myself do something else during the breaks is usually what I do. Because you gotta take breaks. It's good to reset, even if you don't think it'll make a difference. Always makes a huge difference. So take the breaks. Let yourself breathe. Especially if you're like good about working during the 15 minutes on, you're gonna be fine. All right, we got like 12 seconds left. So think about what you're doing, what you're hoping for, what you're going for. And let's crack on. Let's get back into it. did I not spell passenger? Jesus. Okay. This is so much longer than I thought it was. Okay, break time. Okay. Ooh, tell me your heated rivalry theory and we can talk about it while I'm on break. Hello everyone. Ooh, yeah, I mean I could see that. I think a lot of I will say, as someone who found that term to be very, very helpful for my personal self, I do think a lot of people are demisexual in terms of just like I think a lot of people need emotional connection before they feel physical connection. I I do wonder in terms of Shane and Ilya if that applies because their physical came so much faster than their emotional. Um, but ev- everything's up for interpretation. I'm not any authority on that. I do think it's very natural for I think a lot of people to like um need emotional intimacy before they feel sexual attraction. I think um that's a big part of it. But also, I mean, with them, it's like Shane knew about Ilya. There were things that he already liked about Ilya as a person before he became before he met him and before they hooked up. So that is interesting. That definitely goes into it. Um, cool. Yeah, their meeting is interesting for a number of reasons. Mostly that like they both clearly know of each other, and I think that that's like an interesting way to start. I really like their dynamic because they know each other. I think we don't get a lot of the rivalry in in the show. There's a lot more of it in the books, which is one of the things that I do actually appreciate about the books is just the emphasis on like their career entanglement and how hard that is for them. Um, yeah, I mean it is I have very mild criticisms of the show, but I do think that the rivalry aspect could have been a little bit more pronounced because I think it does contribute it doesn't feel like the roadblock that it actually would be. And so by the time they're kind of like at the cottage and having that conversation about like we have to change the narrative of us being rivals, it's kind of like what what is that gonna do? And yeah, I think I mean I'm gonna pause this. We're gonna talk for a little bit longer. My Pomodoro timer, my rules. Yeah, I think that the things about the rivalry is like again, it's kind of that soulmatey connection thing of like um they're always their careers are always going to be intertwined with each other because um they're just inextricably linked. They've been pitted against each other, and that is that's interesting to me. I like that in the books, like the opening scene of the books is Shane being like, I can't have sex with him while facing him because I lost. And so like I need to face away. And it's very like, oh, there's like a sexual dynamic happening due to the rivalry that is not there in the show. Canon Ilya doesn't care about that much about hockey. I fully believe that. I like that Ilya doesn't care about hockey that much. I think it's a nice contrast between him and Shane. It feels very much like that I don't know, it's kind of that classic like rivals thing of like the one who's perfect and uptight and tries really hard for everything versus the one who's like pretty lackadaisical and just like naturally talented and has everything handed to like and Shane is also naturally talented, but like he clearly works very hard for it versus like Ilya who's like a little bit more like chill. Which is I think a thing that you want what you see in other people. And so like the ease that Ilya has around hockey feels like something that Shane would um admire and envy at the same time. And yeah, I agree. It's definitely part of the big foreplay for them. Um, okay, I should finish doing this because I didn't realize how long this thing that I'm transcribing is. And it's not that it's bad, but I do have to think through how I'm going to talk about it. Okay, great. Okay, I am about to turn the timer back on. We'll be doing another 15-minute sprint, so get your stuff going. Thank you. I'm writing. My friend and have been kicking around a screenplay idea for a really long time, and so she kind of did like a very rough draft of it. She's never really written anything before. I'm a writer, so she wrote it, and I'm transcribing it into like actual script format so that she can see like what all the breaks and stuff look like. Also, I have script notes, and she doesn't, because if you don't need to, why would you ever buy script notes? So that's what I'm doing, and we'll have 15 minutes, and then we can chat again. So feel free to leave comments about whoever you will talk. Okay, great. Ooh, I'm like, should I make the breaks 5 minutes? But like, I need to get this done. Okay, and go. No, don't spinning wheel of death me. I haven't saved. Fuck. Okay, great. Wonderful. Break time. Okay. Ooh, cool comments. Wow. It is so funny how our friends watch the show. I had a friend who watched, like, all the episodes were out and she watched one episode per day. And I was like, why? Like, you just, what are you saving it for? Like, you'll enjoy it more the second time you'll watch it. Don't worry about it. But everybody's got their shit. I have not been able to convince my best friend to try it yet. But I'm working the angles. Um, and she was summoned. She's texting me now. Uh, yeah. I thank God the spinning wheel of death didn't actually get me. Yeah, I think this is a show that really emphasizes detail work. And that's huge. And it makes it so much better. Are those shrimps under my screen? Is it these that you're referring to? Is this the shrimp? This is the little thing for the mics. This whole system is so cute. I can't get over it. I can't get over my gritty mic. I'm so glad I got the orange one. I always but yeah, you pop it in and then you get a little fluffer on top. Um I'm calling it the gritty mic. It does look like a little, I don't know, it looks like a little character to me. Um I love the orange. I was gonna go. The thing is, I always go for black technology, and then I'm like, this is boring looking, and then you have to have like a black puff by your face the whole time, and that's fun. I I think the orange is so. I just love neon. Like I'm looking around my desk as if like because my phone case is neon, you can't see it, but like this is like the only moleskin color I've used. The colors right now are so funny. But like lime green, I have lime green everything. Um, I'm big into color. You can do so much with so little if you just add a little color. Um, and yeah, you got to maximize the joy. I don't know that they have green. I've never seen the orange before. I've only seen the black and white, but they let's look it up with my 9 seconds that I have left. Well, that's not going to be what that is. Road mic. They have blue. Why are all of my things having to be checked? Oh, B&H needs to know that I'm human. They have an electric blue and a very bright red, as well as the black and white. But I would recommend them. No, you're good. It's, that's the whole point. I do think, just because I haven't talked about, I love lime green. It is my favorite color. It's so easy to find is the other thing. But yeah, I think the show, just to say something about the show before I crack on with work, I think the show really is incredible in terms of stories about, like, I don't know. I think I recommended some rom-coms the other day, and then people were in the comments like recommending other queer romances, and I was like, the thing about it is like we don't have many just straight up queer rom-coms. And a lot of the ones that are more kind of like humor based tend to be the ones from the 90s where like, like In and Out, where it's like, well, that's not actually like a queer romance. And as much as I enjoyed all of the oh my god, what's the lesbian one with Piper Perabo where she turns into an eagle at the end? I mean, she doesn't literally, but like, oh my god, what is that movie called? It's with Misha Barton. Misha Barton's British? Okay, good to know. What the fuck movie am I thinking of that she was in? And it was like, it's like it's not Little Bird. I want to say, oh my god, nope, it wasn't Ring of Endless Light. What? I don't. The queer rom-com I can recommend is Debs, like Debs, and that's a fun one that I love showing to people. Okay, what lesbian movie? Lost and Delirious. That's what I'm thinking of. Lost and Delirious is, thank you. We nailed it. Yeah, Lost and Delirious is a movie that I feel like when you come out, every older lesbian in your life is like, you have to watch this, and then you watch it, you're like, why? Why did you show this to me? It is, yeah. That's not what the movie is about. You and I, 2011, this drama centers on a teenager who falls in love with a girl she meets at a tattoo concert in Moscow. That is not the plot. Yeah, but I'm a Cheerleader is a really good one. That's true. Wow, I haven't been on AfterEllen.com in a minute. But I'm a Cheerleader, I think, is my favorite, but it is still like it's not a joy to watch. Like, it is, but you also are like wrestling with like the deep profound sadness of conversion the entire, you know what I mean? Like, as much as it's silly goofy to see RuPaul play that role, it's also like, ah, like, this isn't pure joy and fun. Like, yes, I cry every time she says 5, 6, 7, 8, don't run from this is fate, but also like, ugh, run away. Like, yeah, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, also a great one. Also a movie I have watched 3 times, sobbed every single time, and never put on for joy of rewatch, because it's just like, it's so heavy. It's not that it's not a good movie, but I do think that this is one of the first times I think we've gotten something that's just like fun and sexy and doesn't have a lot of like deeper shit that pokes at like deep wounds. Not that it doesn't. Staying closeted and all of that is a deep, but like, it, I don't know. I think the tone of it is very different from other stories we've gotten around it. And But I'm a Cheerleader is, I think, tonally very interesting. I love that movie so much. I love that director. If you haven't seen it, there's an incredible documentary called This Film Is Not Yet Rated, and the director of But I'm a Cheerleader has a big role in that, because she talks a lot about the censorship that they went through, because the MPAA is like a horrifically homophobic board. And so basically gay sex has been censored on screen since, the Hays Code. But thank you. But yeah, This Film Is Not Yet Rated is a really, really interesting look at how the kind of like abject homophobia of the early 2000s, of all time, manifested in film ratings. And that is I have not thought about that movie in so long. Okay, I have to do a little bit more work, because my friend is coming over at 3:30, and this script better be done, because I meant to do it 2 days ago. So I am gonna get back to the, but also, God, I have not thought about This Film Is Not Yet Rated, and now I'm like, fuck, I should watch that again. I bet it's really good. It made me look at American Psycho in a whole new way. Another movie that I think about often and have such complicated feelings about, because people do not understand that movie or that book. Bret Easton Ellis, though, what a fuck. So, not a great guy. Good author, bad man. Okay, yay, great. Ooh. Okay. Glad that's done. Oh my goodness. I have to plug in my printer. I have to use my printer. Ugh. I am finished. I transcribed 2,000 words into script format. It only took me like 45 minutes, which is way longer than I thought it would, but you know. Ugh, script formatting is my least favorite thing, especially because I'm never sure I'm getting it right. But also, as a friend pointed out to me, that's okay. I'm getting it closer. And it's interesting to read what other people write. I don't know. It's good to see other people's first drafts, because we often only see other people's final drafts, and final drafts are not first drafts. And so first drafts reveal kind of, the underlying current. It's also it's very cool. Like, I don't know. I'm really proud of her. She is someone who she's never identified as a writer before or anything, and for her to write like 2,100 words just out the gate, yeah, that's true. Final drafts. I mean, I'm terrible about drafting, I will say. One of my worst quirks as a writer is that I tend to do my best in like one big streak, which I've had to train myself out of relying on those streaks. But drafting has been a skill I've had to develop. Ooh, yeah, stage managers. Script formatting is evil. It really is. And this one, like, thankfully, I have invested in Final Draft at this point. But like it does like the continueds for you and stuff, but it didn't do it on a bunch of these, which means I have to go in and add continued. It's ugh. But I don't know. I used to listen to the Script Notes podcast a lot. Stage Managers Unite. I I have my opening joke in stand up is that is about the time my friend told me that I have big stage manager energy, because I do. And if I'm dressed in all black, my tag for that is so I'm dressed for the job I want. And that one tends to get my biggest laugh. Not in the set, but in terms of openers. I hate openers. I hate making people feel comfortable at my shows. I want people to feel uncomfortable. It's I want comedy to make them doubt what they understand. It's great. It's yeah, stage managing is such a skill, and honestly, it's one of those things that like now I'm a facilitator and I work with other facilitators, and I'm always like, who here was in crew? Like there are just certain jobs that really align with it, and the person who likes to keep everybody like on track and organized is typically the person who also becomes a facilitator. And most facilitators don't choose to become facilitators, they just fall into it sideways, and then everybody's like, what can you do? You're here now, you may as well run a workshop. Which is fun. I got to run a workshop this morning. It was a good time. Way more people came than I thought they would, because my workshop attendance this year has been like a third of the people who sign up come. It's usually about half. And today, 2/3 of the people who signed up came, and it was a half an hour workshop. So everybody ran the whole time. It was on 3 ways to start your meetings. It was a half an hour workshop. I love doing half an hour workshops. And so I just taught people 3 processes they can use to start their meetings that aren't like cheesy and hokey, because I hate icebreakers. I hate them so much. They are the bane of my existence. And what people are trying to like shorthand is human connection. And it's like, it's pretty easy to get people to connect with each other. You just have them ask each other like a single question. So here's the thing. I am a meeting consultant. My entire job outside of making videos is helping people fix their meetings. And one of those things is if this meeting can be an email, make it an email. However, the medium of a meeting is a collaborative nature. And so if you're not collaborating, you probably don't need it to be a meeting. But if you are collaborating, an email is a really terrible stand-in for a meeting because you have to go back and forth and it's all static answers. And the thing about like collaboration is that it's really an energy-based product. Um, yeah, I mean, meetings about me, like that's those are meetings I'm running. And it just, yeah, the things that people need hand holding around is astounding. And meetings are often my whole theory with meetings. If we're getting into like my deep theory, a lot of meetings that one, no one's ever taught how to run a meeting, and two, a lot of meetings are just replacements for the surveillance state that a lot of companies operate under. So it's not that they actually care to bring you to a collaborative environment and get your ideas and feedback and input and make you a stakeholder. They actually just want to lecture you in a room while you're captive so that later they can be like, I know you heard about that thing because I told you about that thing. People think work gets done at meetings. It doesn't. Like you can brainstorm, you can have other things, but like the actual work gets done outside of the meeting. And then you come to the meeting with things. And if people don't come to the meeting with things, everybody panics. And it's like, you have consequences for that. And then they don't do it again. Like adults are trying to, like, it's not, I don't know. I think it's interesting working with adults and working with their bosses. It's a lot of like, how do I make my staff do this? And it's like, you tell them to do it. And if they don't do it, you implement a punishment. Like, it's that simple. And the punishment can be, you don't get to come to the meeting. Like, um, so yeah, meetings have a terrible reputation because they are used in ways that are not effective and they are run by people who are not trained in facilitation because most people are not trained in facilitation. And so the meetings are bad and then people think they hate meetings and what they hate is bad meetings. Also, meetings typically should be like 20 minutes. But everybody feels weird asking for a 20-minute meeting. So they're like, we'll reserve an hour on the calendar. And then you're like, what are you going to do during that hour? And they're like, I don't know. I have like 3 questions I need to ask people. Like, that's not an agenda. That is just a list of questions. Like, what information are they interacting with? So anyway, I teach people how to run better meetings. That's my whole job. And sometimes I have clients. Yeah, facilitation is one of those things that every time, one of the reasons I really love it is because it answered all the questions that I didn't know how to Google. Like, how to run a meeting is not something that you're taught. And sometimes you're just 25 and you're suddenly the buyer at a fucking pet store. And your boss is looking at you in the middle of a meeting that you've been forced to run that you were never able to attend before. And he goes, I don't know why we're talking about this. And you go, I don't either. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? I'm just trying shit. And so that was my first experience in a meeting where I was like, what the fuck are these even for? And then I spent the next 10 years figuring it out. And most meetings are being poorly run and participants are abjectly kind of terrible at a lot of them because they hold so much resentment from other meetings. So you really have to hit like a big reset button. But also everybody, it's so funny because like I work with adults. And so sometimes I'm like, yeah, just have people turn to the person next to them and share one thing they got done last week. And I'll get people responding like, I would hate if my boss made me do this. And I'm like, okay, but if you're in a room and like you already have to be in that room and somebody says, hey, turn to the person next to you and have a conversation. Here's something you can talk about. You're an adult. You can turn to the person next to you and say, that sounds fucking stupid. And that's fine. I'm not controlling that. I am only trying to teach the facilitator what they're supposed to do. I'm not a babysitter. Like, and so I don't know. I always find it funny because the pushback to my work is always like, well, what if everything is terrible and I hate my job? And it's like, you fucking hate your job, man. I do too. I hated my job so much I invented a new job for myself. Like there's action and accountability in all of our actions. Capitalism sucks. Let's dismantle it. You come into the meeting later, like it just feels very like every major decision in the world has been made in or directly after a meeting. Like meetings are very important. I don't know if you can see my workers deserve more sticker, but like, I don't make it a fucking secret that I think capitalism is stupid. And yet people are like, when I try to tell them like about productivity and I'm like, you're spending your life at work. Like, You should spend it in a way that you enjoy, ideally by doing work that you find meaningful in some fucking way. It doesn't have to be the most meaningful work in the world. You just have to find it meaningful for you. Anyway, I spend a lot of time with people who hate their meetings. And it's aggravating because I'm like, okay, let's fix it. And then they're like, it's not possible. And I'm like, okay, so should we just keel over now? Anyway, life's tough. Watch some gay hockey players. I have to go, but this was so fun. Yeah, the give up before you try mentality is something that I struggle with as well. And it's one of those things that like I've had to fix in myself. And I have a lot of thoughts on that. One of the ways I did that was writing down this chart above my desk every day. That's about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Because I find it really helpful in terms of like reminders of what we're actually supposed to be doing here and what growth means. Okay. I do have to go. I'm terrible at goodbyes, and I'm Irish, so I just tend to do an Irish exit when I have to. So this was so great. I'll write down. Thanks for the feedback. I will recommend a book before I go, because otherwise I'll never, if I don't pull it out now, I'll forget. Where's this fucking book? This book is the best book about feedback, meeting culture, work culture, personal identity. You would think it's a book about feedback. How did it change your life? And yet, in the growth mindset chart that is on my wall is literally somewhere in here. But yeah, it's called Thanks for the Feedbacks by Douglas Stone and Sheila Heen. I've made so many videos on this, but I don't think any of them have made it over to YouTube because my TikTok is like so much more. But I'm moving, I'm migrating. Okay. Everybody already said goodbye. And now I'm delaying because I'm bad at saying goodbye. Okay. See y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. Hope everybody got some work done. I'll try to schedule these so that people know they're happening beforehand. Okay, bye.